Hey viewers, I'm here at Decathlon Jukun to find out what is the cheapest bicycle and related accessories that I can find over here to create a budget bicycle to kit it out and use it as a food delivery bike. So let's go in and check it out. After checking with the staff, the cheapest bike that I could reasonably use as a food delivery bicycle ride is actually this Rockrider Sports Trail MTB. So the price for this is actually at $299.90. It comes with a 7-speed grip shifter. Ideally, if you know how to use the gears, you would actually get something which has double gears, one on the front and one at the back. However, for the sake of this being a budget bicycle, I guess I will have to go with this bike. The front wheel has classic clamp type brakes, and the rear as well has the classic clamp type brakes. So there are no disc brakes on this. Tire size is at 26-inch, and as you can see from the texture of the tires, they are quite versatile, so they should have quite good grips on roads and during wet weather conditions as well. Next, let's take a look at what are the accessories you will need to fit out the bike. First up, to keep yourself hydrated while working those long shifts, you will need a classic water bottle. So this would be at $3.90. Color is only available in white with a black lid. And in order to properly store the water bottle, you're going to need this water cage. Cheapest is at $5.90, and there is a selection of whoopee 2 colors, black and white. Okay, cancel that. There is another clearance sale over here. So these cages actually costs you $3.90. So if you don't mind having a kind of like a neon lime green or rose red or really like clashy blue on your bicycle, then go for it. Next up, you have the bike saddle frame and handlebar bags. Now there's a full variety according to size. However, for the purpose of this video is to create the cheapest bicycle, right? With related accessories. So I'm gonna go for this saddle bag over here. This one, it's actually meant to be placed under the seat as indicated over here. And I think it's okay lah. It's enough to fit in like a couple of like maybe a power bank, a small toolkit, and a mini air pump, stuff like that. And they also have this handy chart over here on how to choose the saddlebags for people with a bigger budget. The all-important bicycle rack. You definitely need one of these, man. So they have a couple of varieties. However, since we are building a food delivery bicycle, right, this is actually the cheaper option, which is at $16.90. However, it is only able to hold up to 10 kilos. So this is definitely not going to be useful for the type of stuff, because sometimes for GrabMart, right, we can actually get stuff which is like liters of like water bottles which are like 5 liters, 10 liters, or pet food from GrabMart. So I would suggest going for these type of racks, and this rack, right, is actually at $35.90. Next up would be baskets. You can actually buy the baskets if you really want it. However, for a mountain bike, I don't think that's advisable. I believe these are actually for the riverside city bicycles that they actually have. So I'm gonna skip this section. Bike bags. These would be great to upscale your carrying capacity. But however, you already have your food delivery thermal bag, and I'm not gonna get any of these. So we will skip this as well. Singapore is a tropical country, man. So you definitely need mudguards, because you never know when it's going to rain, and when it rains, we don't want the mud and water to splash up. The cheapest one would actually be these, which is a detachable type of a mudguard. It's really cheap stuff, and it doesn't seem like it can actually do the job, because you can see that the length of the thing, right, it's very short. I'll show it to you. It's very short. So I don't know how far this is actually effective, or whether it's effective at all. So I want something cheap, but at the same time I want something which is effective, correct? So I'm gonna just skip this. However, and instead I would go to the next cheapest one, which is this, the front and rear $10.90 mudguards. So these actually offer a more full-fledged protection when you're cycling, so it actually makes sense to use these instead. What is a food delivery rider without a smartphone mount? And hence these are the mounts. Again, I'm going to go for quality over budgetary concern because you need something which is a bit grippy. Hence I will go for the Triban stable mount, which is this one, and that would be at a cost of $17.90. If we come to safety, buying a good helmet is really essential. So there are these range of helmets available, from mountain bike helmets to normal city type of helmets. However, my own personal preference is actually to go with a mountain bike helmet, and I will tell you the reason why. Basically, the reason, right, is simply because of this. You can see this elongated uh, flap here, this part here. Yeah, it's actually because of that. The reason is actually twofold. First of all, if you buy something like, I mean, it's this is my personal preference. So what I find is that if I get a helmet which doesn't have that kind of a forward-facing ridge over here, when it rains, the water actually just simply gets into my eyes, and it makes it very hard to see. Whereas if supposing there is something like this kind of a protective, ridge over here, right? Something like this, then it actually protects the water simply hits here and drips off, and it helps me to see further down the road, as well as to like when it's sunny or something, right? It also helps during that particular time. So I would definitely go for these, and these, the cheapest would be at $20.90, the leisure MTB helmets with the adjustable dial and with wide vents so that your head doesn't become too hot. Still being on the subject of safety, we have bicycle lights. So you definitely need these to operate in low light conditions or during evening or night times, and thus you need a rear red light and a front white light. And we will get for the sake of price comparison, right? I guess this would be the cheapest that they have, $30.90. But guys, viewers, ladies, and gentlemen, if you can afford to get a good bright light system, please do invest in it because it's for your safety, right? So the purpose of showing these cheaper alternatives is just an experiment to see how much it actually costs in the end to set up a bicycle for food delivery on a budget. But if you have the means to invest, by all means get a proper light. Next up, we have the bicycle bell. So these are the different types of bells that they have. Actually, they all sound pretty much the same to me. So again, the cheapest one, which is at $2.90. You need these to secure your bicycle, of course. So cheapest lock that they have over here is at $4.90. It's nothing special. It's just a normal cable type of lock, and they have a variety of cable locks, and they also do have these solid bar locks as well as a chain lock. So the best ones that I've actually heard, right, is a combination of this type of solid locks and this type of solid locks. I think Payan, right? Payan from Vlog, he actually has a very good locking system, which you guys can actually check out his video. His latest video, it actually features a type of lock which he uses it if you have a disc brake. Do go and check that video out. And back to this video, right? I would actually, since for the purpose of this video we are looking at it cost wise, I would get this, but the minimum that you should actually get is actually the chain lock. The reason being that these type of locks, they are very easy to cut with a standard wire cutter. Chain locks, they can be cut, but it takes a lot more effort. So if you can, and if you can actually looking for a good lock, if you can't afford like these kind of solid bar locks, then go for these chain locks. You can't buy a bicycle without buying a bicycle pump, and hence the cheapest pump they have is this okay, they even call it the cheapest hand pump in our range. Yeah, so $3.90 for this. Now I know there are a lot of people out there, right, who actually use like digital air pumps. For me, I don't know, I don't really care for digital pumps because I always find it a bit of a hassle to like go and look at the exact PSI and all that. My way of pumping air is I just feel the tire, and then if it's like deflated a little bit, I just use a manual air pump and then just pump it up according to what I feel is the correct tension. And basically that's how I do it. So get a air pump. If you, of course, if you want to get a digital air pump like the Xiaomi or the MFC air pumps, right, or Rock Bros air pump, by all means go ahead. Provided you know what you're doing. Otherwise, just get a cheap air pump. I almost forgot about this. Luckily, the staff reminded me of it. You're gonna want to buy a bike stand, and basically, right? I mean, you can't like leave the bike propped up against the lamppost or something, right? So for the bike that we chose, we are going to have this particular stand, which is at $14.90, which is the cheapest one. There is another $9.40 stand, the one beside it. However, this cannot fit into that particular bike because it's only for 20-inch bikes and above, which is I think like a kid's bicycle. So we have to go with the $14.90 version. The $12 version, unfortunately, also is not able to fit onto that bike. And finally, this is something which I cannot emphasize. If you're buying a bicycle, you definitely need to get some cleaning kits, because you need to take care of your bicycle. Even if it's a cheap bicycle, the more you take care of it and you clean it right, it's gonna give you that extra amount of ease of cycling. So actually Decathlon has done a very good job over here. So they've actually listed out like in steps. So first you have the first one, which is the step 1 degrease. So they sell these degreaser at $13.90. However, don't forget, in order to use this degreaser, you need this bicycle chain cleaner, which is at $18.90. So you can get this together with this to clean up your chain. And then you have this wash liquid, which is at $15.90 to wash off your bicycle frame, handlebars and stuff. And finally you have this lube and grease, which is at $6.40. So they have two types. One is this one, which is at $4.40, and the other one, which is this one, which is the all-weather version. The one I have at home is actually this one. I also use it for my e-bike as well. Same thing goes. Please, you guys need to maintain your bicycle or e-bike. Just it's very easy stuff cleaning this, and especially when it rains and your bicycle gets dirty, right? Don't just leave it as it is. Try to clean it so that the bicycle is actually good to ride on your next ride. I cannot describe to you how essential a good raincoat is. However, as we are on a budget, we will go with the cheapest raincoat here. Wow, very flimsy here. Okay, but it's still better than nothing. So this costs $20.90, and protective leggings as well, which is at $25.90. From all these necessities, occasionally from time to time you're going to need professional help or assistance to do certain servicing of your bicycle. So they do have a workshop located at, I believe, all Decathlon stores, and these would be the price range that they have. And that concludes our visit to the store. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I had creating it. This video is not sponsored by Decathlon. It's just something that I came up with as I was visiting the store to buy something else. And I hope that it sheds a little light on what are the basic things that a new rider who is thinking of joining as a bicycle rider on any food delivery platform needs to buy before they can actually become a food delivery partner. Because there's a lot of times when people sometimes forget about the related costs or amount they need to spend in order to become a rider. If you're a new rider, my best suggestion is get a second-hand bike, try it out first, and try to find everything which is second-hand first before you decide that this is something that you want to do. And from there, right, you can actually upgrade to a better bicycle, or even maybe buy e-bike. And this is G-Man signing out for Grab Adventures. See you in another episode soon.